All right, and I think we're live. Yes. Okay, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris. This is my channel. We Love Comics. Had a little technical difficulty right there. And today, I'd like to welcome everybody first to my channel. Hopefully, you will enjoy the comment section. It's already starting. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hopefully you will enjoy my content. And today I am showing the 4 books that I am sending out this month to get graded. These are all key books, so you might want to stick around to see what they are, because they're books I would highly recommend to add to your collection if you can get them. A lot of these I got years ago, so I spent a lot less money than what is currently going to be going on with the prices of these books now. I have a deal with PGX. I tried to do it with CGC and CBCS. Both never responded. I don't get paid. There are no contracts signed, but what I do is I contacted all of them, and PGX responded, and I could send in 4 books a month. They get them pressed, dry cleaned, signature verification if needed, if I do a video advertising for them. So I want to make sure you guys benefit, because if you send in 10 books to PGX, and of course you don't have to, but if you choose to, and you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of them pressed for free. And also, thanks to my idea, I persuaded Daniel Patterson, who is the owner of PGX, to do optional grader's notes on the back of the slab. And so if you use the code We Love Comics Grader's Notes, it's $5 a piece if you want them, and they'll put the grader's notes on the book slab in the back, which I think is a great idea. Obviously, it's not going to be for everybody, but I think this kind of makes companies a lot more transparent when they explain what's there in print right on the book. Well, not directly on the book, but on the slab. So the descriptions and the links are in the description, so go check that out. And don't forget to wait until the end to see who's today's surprise subscriber shout out. And blah, blah, blah. Sign up for the cashback program. You spend $25 or more within the first 90 days. By clicking on that link, you get a $10 cashback bonus. Alright, so I know this video is not going to be as popular because I am not recommending any book. I can't do that every video. Well, I could, but I just don't want to do that every video. So let me put on the video camera. We have, here we go, our guest appearance right now. Every time I start testing the microphones, my cat Oregon comes chirping over, wanting to be a part of this, and now he doesn't. So there we go. For those of you who love seeing the cat, that's it. All right, so I got 4 books I send in each month to get graded. I tell you what I paid for them, what I think the grades are, and then in probably about a month and a half, I'll get them back, because of course with the situations in the world today, you know, things are a little bit crazier when it comes to the Postal Service especially. All right, so here we go. Niall says, "Hi man, this is the first time I've reached your live stream. Love your videos." Thank you. I appreciate that, and welcome. Alright, so the first one, if you saw recently, I mean, they've been talking about this for a while, but it's actually been confirmed at this point. So this book, I was lucky to get 2 of these a couple of years ago. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 15. In the Amazing Spider-Man run, the first 20 issues is absolutely amazing. Almost like 80% of them have a key first appearance of a major character. And Craven is no exception, because this is his first appearance. And they have confirmed there will be a Craven movie which will have Spider-Man in it. So it's technically a Sony movie, but Disney and Sony are working pretty good these days and allowing the Spider-Man character that they've agreed upon to be in Marvel to also be in some of the Sony films. So I paid $169.12 for this book. Like I said, I bought it like 2 or 3 years ago. Of course, I always make sure these get pressed and dry cleaned, but this is definitely a book to get. I'm sure prices, now that the movie has actually been confirmed, are going to go way up. And that's why I tell people sometimes you got to take the chance on rumors, because sometimes those rumors come true. And I was telling people to get this book a couple of years ago, so I bought 2 of these. And like I said, $169.12, which includes shipping. That's a steal for this. Now, of course, it's by all means not a 9.8, and that's fine. But I'm predicting about a 3.0 to about a 4.0. So this is a pretty decent book. You know, it's got the typical couple of color breaks along the spine. Staples are intact. Everything else looks good. There's a couple of minor color breaks, but as you could see, the cover presents well. There's no major tears or anything like that, so that would definitely warrant that type of grade. Pressing may bring it up a little bit more, but we'll see. I think the only major damage is right. It's hard to see in that corner. There's a couple of color break increases, but again, that's going to be in the range of what I'm predicting it to be. It has a little bit of an indent along here, but that easily can be pressed out. And definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with that movie. Hopefully they will do it justice, and it will be as good as what they did with that Spider-Verse movie. We'll find out. All right, next up. This is a book I was telling people years ago to get. It's one of those things where I say, get them before they become popular, because I knew the way the movement was going with Hollywood and everything these days. They're going all female. So I knew it was just a matter of time before they started doing that, once I kind of understood the concept of what they're doing. So I have 4 of these books. I don't know what I paid, but I know I did not pay more than $30. Because I got these early, so I will say I paid between $10 and $30 for these books. I didn't write it down at that time, because that was around when I first started, around the beginning of 2016-ish. But this is definitely a book to get if you can find it. The name takes forever. The name of this book is All New Marvel Now .1 Number 1. Now, they're saying it's the first appearance of Kamala Khan. There's a couple of different books that they're saying these kind of things with. But this book in a 9.8 right now is currently going for over $800. And they haven't even made anything official yet. But Kamala Khan is going to be in a TV show. But of course, with all the delays and all the things that are going on in the world, people aren't talking about it as much. Which means it's a buying opportunity to get it. So this is definitely a book to get if you can get it. So like I said, I have 4 of these. I spent between $10 and $30. Again, I don't remember the price. Again, this could probably use a pressing. It's got a little kind of non-color breaking crease at the edge. So the fact that it does not have a color breaking crease means it could be pressed out and you'd never know it was there. So with newer books, I'm just going to use the grade between 9.4 to 9.8 with white pages, of course. But this book, if you can grab them, get them, because they might be expensive now. They will be even more expensive once this officially happens in the MCU. Of course, there are no guarantees. Things can change because they've done that before. Remember, there was supposed to be an Inhumans movie. It ended up being a horrible TV show. I mean, if you liked it, hey. But, when you take the main character, whose superpower is her hair, and cut her hair the first episode, not going well. Spoiler alert. But this book, as of now, is doing pretty good. And even if it goes down to 200, well, like I said, I paid no more than 30 for it. I will do very well with this book. So, like I said, it's going to be between a 9.4 to a 9.8. Next up, this one is proof that you really need to check your comics before you send them. Because I made the mistake of, I don't remember why, but I rushed it and I didn't look in this book. And 2 things happened. And I also made the video saying that PGX actually graded this correctly. Which, of course, brought the wrath and fury of the people who don't like my channel. Because they don't like to hear truthful information that goes against their belief system. Whatever. But I'm redoing this one. This is Avengers number 1. Now, it was originally graded a 2.5. They talk about copy of cover and page 19 to 20 added to book. Now, I assume when they said that, I assumed that page 19 and 20 was missing, and they replaced it with a color copy. No, what they did was, they just made a color copy for some reason, and stuck it in the book. Page 19 and 20 is not only still there, but it's completely attached. So why they did this, I don't have any clue, but I missed this. And they also, what they did was, because if you see the video where I was sending in the 4 books, you could see the image of the Hulk there. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that page 1 has the same exact spot where the Hulk would be that was cut out, because they cut out the Hulk in this issue. What happened is they made a color copy of the cover and again slid it into the book. So stupid me didn't check So I'm regrading this. So it was actually graded correctly because it was not restored. Because just because there were added pages, they weren't replacing anything, so there was no restoration. And of course, like I said, they were under no obligation to have to take these out because that's how it was sent. So I use that as an example of, you make a mistake, don't make that mistake again. So if you learn from your mistake, then it's actually used as a learning tool and can help you further down from ever having that happen again. So I paid because I have to add the extra $4 for shipping, because it's $4 per book is about what it costs to ship it, because I have to pay for that. I paid $679 for this book. This book in a 0.5 is going for about $800-900. This is definitely more than a 0.5. Now, there is a big tear on the back. And, of course, like I said, there is that missing piece. And somebody decided to draw in on the Avengers. And on page 1, they gave Loki a mustache. But, of course, that's going to lower the grade. That's why I said it's going to be about a 1.8 to a 2.5. So it should pretty much stay a 2 to a 2.5 when it comes back. But I'll give the benefit of the doubt just in case, because you never know. It depends on who's grading a book. All of a sudden, somebody's opinion could be different. So I'll be fine with it no matter what. But use that as an example. Make sure you check your books. All right, last but not least. And also, guys, don't forget to wait until the end. If you want today's surprise subscriber shout-out, all you have to do is be in the live chat. You don't even have to be a subscriber, but hopefully you will. I want to thank, so far, the 9 people kind enough to hit the like button out of the 37 watching. And if any of you could be so kind to hit that like button, it helps my channel tremendously. So thank you in advance to those kind enough to do it. And let's show the last book. Last book. I bought these back in 2016 from my previous We Love Comics channel that I shut down. Stupid me, never do that again, especially for the reasons why. I've been telling people since 2016 to get this book. I bought about 10 to 12 of them. I've given away a bunch of them. I've sold 1 or 2. So I'm down to about 5 of them. But I did not pay more than $12. I paid between $10 and $12 a piece for these books, and they are no longer $10 to $12 a piece. I was telling people for years, some people listened, many people didn't. Now they're paying the price of how much they have to spend for this book, even raw. So, my last book, Ultimate Fallout 4. This is the first print in the original bag. Of course, this is the first appearance of Miles Morales, which I knew one day was going to become a very hot character, because again, I know how corporations work, I know how agendas happen, and if you pay attention to things more than just your emotions, you can actually predict things in the future that will end up most of the time coming true. Now, you can't say everything, but like I said, I've told people about Spider-Woman, which by the way is another movie that's going to be confirmed in the Sony / Marvel universe. They're doing that Jessica Drew movie. So if you have the Marvel Spotlight 32, you're going to be very happy. I have probably between 10 and 15 copies of that book. The She-Hulk I've predicted. Spider-Gwen I've predicted. So, I'll have people that'll hate me when I get something wrong and bash me when I get something wrong. But I never get credit for the stuff I get right. And I get more right than wrong. But, it's tooting my own horn, whatever. But this is a book, if you are lucky enough to get your hands on this book, and it's still in the original bag and board, and you say, hey, I want to get this graded, do not make the mistake of sending this book to get graded without getting it pressed. The reason being is, on the back of the bag is basically a little fold where you can rip it apart and open the bag. That leaves a dent all the way up and down the middle of the back of the book. Now, luckily, most of the time, it's non-color breaking, because it's just a little imprint of that fold of the bag. So this is still in the original bag. It was never opened. If you do not get this pressed, this book will probably come back a 9.0 to a 9.2 on average. If you press it, it's a 9.8 potential. Now, of course, it depends on the rest of the book. The rest of the book, to me, looks really darn good. It does have a non-color breaking crease indent here, but again, the pressing will get that out, so I don't worry about what that looks like when it's raw. And I actually, as you see, when the flea market was open. I was selling this at the flea market for $99. I'm very thankful that no one bought it, which shows there are many times that people would come to my booth and they'd see the comic boxes. They'd look at maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 things and then move on. Well, if you're going to look through comic boxes, look through them all, because this book in a 9.8 sells for about $1,000. It's going to be higher than that when they eventually, and I can't guarantee it, but I would say there's a 95% chance that eventually you're going to see a Miles Morales live-action movie. That is my opinion. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But this book will then probably be a $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 book in a 9.8. Of course, I can't guarantee that. But if it's $1,000 now, what do you think it's going to be when they finally get him into a live-action movie? And people passed this up because they thought $99 was too high a price. So I'm very grateful. And that's one of the things I love about comics, which, by the way, about a week or two ago, I still have some comics that I am selling that people have not bought. So check out those videos if you want to see them. And also check out my description of any video. It will show my web store. Now, you're going to see pyramids and soaps and things like that, because I actually make all natural soaps and shampoos and stuff, and make these things called Orgon pyramids, which is where my cat's name Orgon came from. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see the comic books. I have mystery bags, which, by the way, this is in one of the mystery bags. Obviously not this particular one, but in one of the mystery bags, there is a Ultimate Fallout 4 first print still in the bag. I am surprised no one buys them. Only one person has bought some of the mystery boxes, but whatever. Like I say, if I'm putting a book up for sale and it doesn't sell, the good thing I know is eventually it's going to be worth more money, because I buy a lot of key issues. So if it sells, great. I made some extra money during these interesting times. If it doesn't, it's just going to be worth more. That's why I said I'm very glad that I did not sell this for $99. So, like I said, I paid, I'm going to say $12, because I spent between $10 and $12, so I don't know which ones are which. So I'll just assume the high end, I paid $12 for that book. I'm just going to say between a 9.4 to a 9.8. Pressing is going to bring it to between a 9.6 and a 9.8, because, you know, without that, this is a 9.0 book. But the pressings, because there's no color breaks, will get rid of all of those little bends and creases. But make sure, no matter what company you send this to, if you get this book graded and it's in the original bag and board, even if it's not, get this book pressed, because you're talking hundreds of dollars in difference in value by spending what? Between $18 and $35, depending on what company you use. The company I use is PGX, because they have signature verification. They do pressings and dry cleanings in-house. So it doesn't have to be shipped somewhere else where it could be damaged along the way. What you do is up to you. But those are the 4 books. I'm still waiting, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 batches that are coming. Should probably be in another 2 weeks or so, because like I said, with the whole world going crazy these days, there are people who will mail comics on eBay, and it will take a month for me to get after they've shipped them. So with these times, expect with any company there's probably going to be abnormally and weird delays. Alright, so I'm rambling at this point. Let me know what you think about these books. I want to thank the 19 people kind enough to hit the thumbs up button. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. The good thing is there's not a lot of people here, because when I don't do an investment video, most people don't watch, which is a shame, because you could still learn information about these books, but to each their own. So this is what I'm going to do. For all of you that were kind enough to show up in the live chat, and like I said, there's not many, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody. So John Hinojosa, and I'm sure I screwed that up. So John, we got Main Smash Gaming, we got Nam Loco, we got Niall Butt, love that name. We got Hal Burkhart, Ben Fong, good to see you again. He says, aren't Greatest Notes free for CBCS? Yes, but they're not on the actual, on the back of the comic. PGX is free as well. You email them and they can send them to you. But I'm saying, if you want to spend the $5 to place it on the back of the actual slab. Let me show you. Let me see if this one has it. So yes, CBCS has it for free. All right, this one doesn't have it. Give me a second. No, the rest is CGC. But what they'll do is, on the back of their PGX label, they will actually put the greatest notes on there. So everybody can see them if you're selling the book. So I think it was just a really smart idea that I was surprised no company actually did that PGX will do. And it's a $5 charge. So let's continue. Jake Conrad. We're going to go Mega Road. Stephen Higgins. Navilli Seats. Very interesting. And I think Hal I've already said. So those, you're all getting today's surprise subscriber shout out because I want to thank you for taking the time to come here. So let's give all the shout outs a shout out. So you can just give a group shout out if you want. I'll try and do a new video tomorrow, but I might take a day. Main Smash Gaming says, might give PGX a shot. This is what I always say. There are plenty of people in the world that will base what they do solely on what other people have said and what other people have done and not base it on their own personal experience. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous. If you spend your life doing things because other people say to do it or say not to do it, you're not living your own life. You're just living somebody else's. Experience things yourself. Find out for yourself. One of the reasons why I like doing these videos, and I do them live, is because I don't edit the videos. I don't all of a sudden take something out or change it into anything other than what it is. And yes, there's been a mistake or two in grading over the 2.5, almost 3 years now, but 99% of them have been pretty spot on. You know, mistakes are going to happen. But if you base what you do solely on what somebody else says, why are you living your own life? Just let somebody else live your life for you if you're not going to do your own. So take the chance on something. You never know, you might like it. The reason I like PGX is, like I said, they were the only one that communicated with me when I sent messages to all 3 companies. I know Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, on a personal level. I have his phone number. I can talk to him. He actually listens to my ideas and recommendations. When I told him about the greatest notes, I actually convinced him to do it, and he's appreciative of it. They have their customer service is top-notch. Does that mean they're a perfect company? I'm not going to sit here and say they are, because no company is 100% perfect. But you cannot give credit to one company and just ignore whatever mistakes they make and bash a company when every now and then there's a mistake. Base things on your own personal experience, because I promise you it will most likely contradict what most people say. If you live your life by what most people do and don't do, then you are not a strong individual. You are a follower. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. And most followers hate leaders because it represents something that they're really afraid to be. So instead of healing themselves and making themselves a better person, they feel they need to outlash their anger and frustration onto somebody else. And believe me, I learned that the hard way back in the days. It will never happen again. And that's the good thing about any mistake in the world. When you learn from your mistake and you become better because of it, then when you look back at the mistake, you'll realize it happened for a good reason. You learn your best values in life a lot of times from the mistakes you make. It's the ones that keep repeating it that never learn anything and look back at the mistakes as bad. Any mistake or any quote-unquote bad thing that's happened in my life that made me better, I cannot look back and think it was bad, because if it meant that it needed to be the lesson that I needed to learn, then I'm very grateful it happened, because it always could be worse. So you decide what companies you want to use. I'm not here saying you have to use PGX. If you want to use CBCS, if you want to use CGC, if you want to use any other company, by all means, it's your money, do what you want. I am showing you my example through my experience. You can agree or disagree. That's up to you. And for everybody else, just make your own decision. Trust in your own decision. And know that, hey, if you make a mistake, learn from it and don't make that mistake again. People are so afraid to fail. It's like being, like I've said in other videos, it's like standing at the crossroads. You're in the middle of a 4-direction road. And you're standing in the middle of the road afraid to take any road because you think it's the wrong one. Or what if I make a mistake? Or what if it's too hard? Or what if it's too long? Well, then what happens? You go nowhere. And you probably get run over by a car because you're too busy paying attention to what road. You're not paying attention to the car that's about to run you over. So just go with the flow, trust your instincts, and the beautiful thing is, if you make a wrong turn, you can always turn around. You're limited to what you believe. So don't let others discourage you and make you second guess yourself. Trust this. Ignore what everybody else says unless it resonates with you. Because unfortunately, most people are angry, lonely, and very weak-minded. And instead of trying to better themselves, they want to project their frustrations out in the world, which means they'll spend their whole life doing that instead of taking the time to look inside themselves and make themselves a better person. So there we go. We got another one of the rants that some of you love, some of you absolutely hate. If you absolutely hate it and you're silly enough to listen, that's on you. So thank you again to the 25 that have liked. Thank you to the 39 people that watched. Thank you to all the people that were kind enough to join the live chat. Hit that like button if you can be so kind. And don't forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is we love comics. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next video.